welcome students. The topic that we are going to study today is characteristics and evolution of computers. So, as you know that a computer is a machine that follows instructions, and these instructions are called programs. So when a computer follows some instructions, this is called a we call it running a program. So computer has two main parts. One is called the CPU, the central processing unit, and the memory. Okay, so these are the main two components of a computer. So the computers that we use today are very different from the early devices that were invented for doing calculations, because computers are also used for doing calculations. Okay, and but in the previous times, the computers or the devices that were used for calculations did not look like this. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to see the early calculating device. So some of the early calculating device were as follows. So one of the first calculating device that was ever made was called abacus. Okay, and it had a wooden frame, as you can see in this picture as well. It has a wooden frame, and it was built with beads sliding on the wires. So as you can see, these beads and this wire, so there were beads that were sliding on the wires. So this was used for calculations in the earliest times, and it was used to perform simple calculations. For example, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So at the previous time, people used to use abacus for all these calculations that we now use calculator for or computer for. And but it is still used in many countries like Asia and Africa. It is basically used in schools to teach children about place values in the numbering system, and also for teaching arithmetic operations to blind students. So it's still if we go to schools, and teachers still use abacus for teaching the basic operations to kids. So it's still used. It hasn't gone away, but now for more complex calculations we use calculators and computers. We don't use abacus anymore, but for simple multiplication, addition, we use this. Okay, so the first one of the first calculating devices that was ever made was abacus. So another type of early calculating devices that was made was called Napier's bones. Okay, in it was made in 1616, and it was made by a man called Sir John Napier, and that's why it was named as Napier's bone, because it was made by him. And as you can see, the picture of Napier bone in this picture, you can see the name written on it, and you can see the device over here. It looked something like this. So and it was called Napier's bone because it had uh, numbers carved on bones, or on strips of wood. So Napier John, he used woods or bones to carve out numbers on it. Okay, so that's why it was called Napier bones. Okay, it was called Napier's bone. Napier because of his name, and bones because he used to carve numbers on bones or woods. Okay, and it was also used for calculations like subtraction, addition, division, or to find the square root of the number. It was also, at that time, this device was used for finding the square root of the number as well, and also for performing simple calculations. So another type of calculating device that was made in 1641 was called Pascal line, and it was made by Blaise Pascal. And it was the first ever mechanical calculator that was ever made. And it consisted of a rectangular box, as you can see in this picture, and with movable wheels. The wheels you can see over here. Okay, there's a box and this wheels, and it was made by Blaise Pascal. And it was also used for addition and subtraction and multiplication and dividing numbers up to hundreds and thousands. So this was the first device that was used for thousands of numbers as well, for calculating thousand numbers as well, and doing multiplication with those numbers. And it was the first mechanical device. Okay, so Difference engine is another calculating device, which was um, verging on being the first computer, and it was designed and partially built in 1820s and 30s by Charles Babbage. And he was an English mathematician and inventor. And this machine that he created, it was created for to prepare mathematical tables. Charles Babbage also invented the first general purpose computer, which was known as an electrical engine, like as you can see in this picture. And it had the elements same basic elements as the modern computer that we have today, like input, output, and memory devices. So, due to his path-breaking contribution to the computing, Charles Babbage is called the father of modern computers. So you should remember this name because he has done great contribution um, to computing. So that's why he is also known as the father of modern computers. So, and this analytical engine was that was designed by Charles Babbage. Um, it consisted of four components: the mill, the store, the reader, and the printer. And these computers are the essential components of every computer today. So, and it was a fully automatic mechanical digital computer, and it that was made to perform any calculation um, that was not previously done by anybody. So students, in this lecture we have studied about the different calculating devices such as abacus, Napier's bones, Pascaline, indifference engine, analytical engine. So that's all for today. I'll see you in the next lecture. And now your task for today is you have to read page number 1 and 2 of your book, and you have to research more about the devices that we have studied in this lecture. Okay, so next time if you come back, you should know more about the devices, and you should also read the page number 1 and 2 of your book. Revise it at your home. Okay. Also, students, if you have any queries, you're most welcome to send a text on school's number, and we will definitely contact you